Welcome to the J.R. Hendrick, Texan Gentleman, the podcast that deals with the early life of J.R. Hendrick. Now narrating Facts and Wisdom Part 2, Jimmy and J.R. 11 a.m. Eastern. Christine's plane lands at Washington International Airport, and Isaac, a servant, takes her luggage and loads it into the Chevy Suburban to get ready to take her back to the mansion, home to the mansion. 12:30 p.m. Charlie Nation insisted that I have chicken parmesan with him at Crockett House. Why chicken parmesan when I could be having the cheeseburger at the Holy Spirit Club? You need to be cultured away from that crazy dad of yours, Charlie said. Oh no. Here comes old man Bledsoe. Trevor turned on everyone in the dining hall. Hey, if you're going to talk about me, keep your mouth shut. 1 p.m. Central. Having enough for Charlie, I went to the library with Kevin, where I study for a mass media theory class test tomorrow. 3:05 p.m. Eastern. The family sits in the living room as Christine tells everyone about her trip to the ranch and how much she enjoyed her time with Kyle. Goat herding and horseback riding. There you see, Kyle knows how to party. As long as he works. Christine, the ranch, Christine, I need you tomorrow some editorial blurbs about the SBA that I will have for you to clip. Boring, Christine said. 3 p.m. Central. I'm sitting in my dorm living room, feeling kind of homesick. Charlie Nation decided to take a run to Coleman Hall to watch TV. Kevin McDonald was in the library. Dave Smith was out with some missionary. So it was just me by myself. So I picked up the phone and called Grandma Elizabeth. And it went something like this. Be patient as we try to get technology to work. How's my dear sweet grandmother? Oh, Gail, I got some good news. This is my last week of radiation, and then guess what? What's that? I'm coming back to live in Thursday. Your Uncle Tom is coming, and we are going to be seeing you in Lubbock this Saturday. sitting there alone and always nation bugging you and stuff like that. That sounds good? Yeah, then I don't think I like that very much. Alright then. We'll make arrangements to meet you up your dorm that morning as soon as the parade is over. And we're going to take you out to a nice Mexican lunch. Me, you, Uncle Tom, my maid, Slade Kyle will come along. Yeah, I think I might that. Well, me and Kyle have run this before, but maybe he's not so bad. Well, if not Kyle, then somebody from the Swain family. You hear me? Thanks, Grandma. What's wrong? Oh, rainy weather and plus homesick. Oh, you'll get over the homesickness. School starts again tomorrow. You just hang in there, okay? Thank you, Grandma. I love you. I love you too. You be careful, okay? Alright, sure thing. Six p.m. Cheeseburgers was for dinner at the Holy Spirit Club. So I sat down and ate with Stoney, Rosen, and Jennifer Bowers. 7 p.m. The missionary devotional was absolutely beautiful. 9 p.m. Central. Even though it was 10 o'clock at night, I figured I would go ahead and give my favorite cousin, Amy Kathleen, a call. And the phone call went something like this. Hey, Amy Kathleen, you take on study break? Trying to keep away from what's going on in Washington, D.C.'s racket. Hello, Jaron. Say, I heard about the part-time Christians giving him. I just don't think that that's right. You know what I guess? I must be having the ranch on weekends and have it come with you. Running for staff. Running the Texas Lovely Students. We have a lot of fun. Anytime you want to come back to West Texas, I can make it. You know, wouldn't both be at the ranch. Be the range. I wish it could be that way, but I wish your mother and I would at least spend a year up in D.C. Don't you miss some of the times we had when I was having my internship up there last year? Somebody needs something on top of Jim. I know. Next year I'll be working with him further. I'm in my office. That'll be his own office. I'm working at the utility unit. So that's going to help. Thank you, Jaron. Well, I appreciate that. You don't know how much I appreciate that. There were times I used to cry when you had to leave when I was a small child, but we had a lot of fun. Amy Kathleen, if you ever want to come back to the ranch and I'm around, please let me know. I'm serious. We can still have a good time. Thank you, Jaron. October 11th, 1994, 4:30 a.m. Eastern. Waking up and dressing quickly. And gets ready for the 5:55 drive to Washington International Airport. He, along with Paul Campemeyer and Michael Pierce, would be taking the 6:55 a.m. flight from Washington, D.C. to Detroit. He had a campaign stop for Spencer Abram at 9 a.m., after which he would take the 2.5-hour drive to Ada, Michigan, where he would speak at 1 p.m. at the Amway headquarters. And then the 2 p.m. Tour, and then the 7 p.m. Speech for Alex Romney, 5:10 a.m. Paul Campemeyer and Michael Pierce meet Jim in the garage to pack up their briefcases. But they would not be departing for the airport until 20 minutes later, 5:30 a.m. Jim and his dream team made the drive to Washington International Airport. Paul Campemeyer wanted to listen to ELO's Living Thing. 5:15 a.m. Central. Kicking back in my sweet living room when I saw Charlie coming out of his room. "What are you doing so early?" Jaron said. "What are you doing up so early?" Jaron asked. "I have classes, Junior, remember, just like you," Charlie said. "We all know that ain't the whole truth, because I happen to know a few times when you couch potatoes nights, the next day you skip a class," Jaron said. "Well, I still make good grades on my papers and tests, don't I?" "Kind of be nice if you would take in the whole picture and go see your professors during office hours. Dr. Huckabee is my advisor. He gives me all the help I need." 6:25 a.m. Jim arrives at the airport hangar, where he is searched and tested by airport security. Surprise, along with the party was his private secretary, Kimberly Foyle. Before working for Jim in 1992, she served as a paralegal in the Justice Department. 6:30 a.m. Eastern. Boarding the jet, Kimberly could see that Jim was getting really impatient with the pilot and staff, cursing Bill Clinton for all it's worth. Abruptly, she told the airport and airplane staff to get a move on. 6:55 a.m. The Hendrick party taxis down the runway and departs Washington, D.C. for Detroit International Airport, which will be a little over an hour away. 6:30 a.m. Waffles for breakfast at the Crockett House, where I decided to eat with Kevin McDonald. 4 tough games in a row. Thank God we play against SMU Saturday. That's the homecoming Tim Newcastle was invited me to participate in the parade for the Spirit Club, where he's going to be driving his granddaddy's 1963 Lincoln Continental convertible. I hope you're not going to be alone. Listen. Charlie's walking on his own, so he's going to be having lunch with a team. And I don't know about you. Grandma called me. She's going to be meeting me at the dorm after the homecoming parade. We're going to have a Mexican food lunch together. I go to the homecoming game with Uncle Thomas. And it's going to be an old-fashioned Swain family reunion for a date. Let heritage hit you. You are a man of a servant's heart. 8 a.m. The Hendrick party lands at Detroit International Airport, and Congressman Killer Alex Romney meets them. 9 a.m. Eastern. At the hotel ballroom, Jim is making his 1-hour keynote speech for Abrams. Abrams and Romney had already given him pointers of what to talk about. Five months ago, in a primary speech, Romney had criticized the Biden administration, the Clinton administration, and some kids started heckling Jim. 10:20 a.m. Eastern. The Hendrick van departs for the nearly 3-hour drive from Detroit to Ada, Michigan. There, Jim was to speak at the Amway Corporation. 9:40 a.m. Friedrich McKay was lecturing on public affairs class today because Dr. Harmon had to present a paper at Kentucky State University. The topic was political advocacy. 11 a.m. Central. Kind of bored after class. I took a bus over to the rec center and took a 30-minute swim in the pool. I was going to have lunch at Crockett House at Kevin McDonald. 11:30 a.m. Central. Kevin McDonald and I had chicken nuggets at the Crockett House dining hall. Well, Junior, I have to say, my parents are coming up this weekend to see the homecoming game, Kevin said. Same as my grandmother and some people from my mama's side of the family. We're going to have a Mexican lunch. Some of us are going to watch the game. And then maybe have a nice dinner. Who knows? 12 p.m. Central. Ken's letter finally came in the mail. So I decided to send him an email letter. Dear Colton, yours of the 19th received, and humor noted. Numerous tech varsity men have stated 4 rough games in a row. Thank God we're playing against SMU on Saturday. So I'm gonna bet you Yeah, let's bet $20 exactly on this. As for your call last night and this morning, I'll do what I can next weekend about reserving the condo. It's pretty plain to me that you are damn peculiar. Don't need a date for this next weekend. I just swim against Baylor. But if you do go, at least I can put you up in the apartment or the condo. Better yet, bring Jim Bob Horton. Also, Johnny Dangerous. And something about going if he can keep it in his pants. Thanks, JR. BS. Try to get a girl for the weekend of November 19th for the Texas Tech Longhorns game, because we are going to have a party on Swain Field. 1 p.m. Eastern. Jim gives a 20-minute speech for the Amway Corporation. 3:30 p.m. Central. After making some calls to sell some silver, Jaron, I'm listening to the Blake Carter show. During the Old Testament literature class, we talked about King David's time period with King David and King Solomon. 5:25 p.m. Eastern. Jim had been listening to the Blake Carter show until he started blasting the Clinton administration's involvement in Bosnia. And so in disgust, Jim shuts off the tape. Can't believe this ass, Jim said. Jim, I'm sorry, but you've been told he's a libertarian. But you've been told he's a libertarian crackpot, Paul Campmeyer said, who's taking some of the American audience by storm. Mike Pierce said. I don't want to hear any more about it. But that's all. That's all the room service. I want a fried chicken dinner. We got 4.5 hours before we take the plane. I think I have another campaign speech for Alex Filming. 7:20 p.m. In Detroit, Jim is delivering a 40-minute speech in the hotel ballroom on behalf of Alex Filming. 7:35 p.m. Central. Coming back from Cheesecake Toastmasters, I decided to sit in my dorm living room and place a phone call to Amy Kathleen in Washington, D.C. That phone call? Well, something like this.
Gene.
Amy Kathleen, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Figured I'd call. I'm glad you called me. What's up?
Just called to see how things are in Washington, D.C.
Oh, school is wonderful. Amy Kathleen, why'd you have to be such a dork kid and not watch some science with me?
I told you I have to study. Get my sister on the phone, and I'll be right back with you, okay?
sis? It's Jaron, Christine. Your big brother. You're breaking my heart how you're treating our cousin. She ain't like us. She sure is. Alright? Leave her alone, please. I swear you're such a dork. You're gonna have to find a better word than dork. Put Amy Kathleen back on. I'm sorry, Jill. It's alright. She just is what she is.
"7:40 p.m. Using the information gathered on my laptop and the internet, I was able to tap into the Birch BBS and get some information. Tomorrow was my plan is to get the Clinton Chronicles on the word processor and have it read at the library. 9:10 p.m. Eastern. At the Hendrick Mansion in Washington, D.C., SARS fishes forever out of the home pool. He's cool telling her that he's not ready to pop a question because he needs more time. Forever suggested that they wait until sometime just before or just after they graduate from high school. 9:35 p.m. The Hendrick party boarded the private jet that was to take them back to Washington, D.C. 10 p.m. Eastern. The Hendrick plane taxis down the runway and departs for Washington, D.C. 11 p.m. Eastern. The Hendrick party in Washington, D.C. arrives. Spouses arrive to pick up their husbands as a dream team and everybody disembarks. Jim takes a long drive back to Washington, D.C. Let's see how far down this goes. Okay. Just make sure I know what I'm doing. October 12th. 6:10 a.m. Eastern. Upstairs in the Dream Team VIP Lounge, Jim is reading Fortune Small Business and Beliefs for Small Business, given him by Presley Gilmore, campaign manager and chief of staff and chief aide to Congressman Alex Romney. 6:30 a.m. Central. Cinnamon rolls and donuts have been served for breakfast at the Spirit Club as I sat down with Brent Clark and C.B. Coleman. I saw Charlie yesterday with Dr. Huckabee outside the administration building on the way to the student union. I guess Dr. Huckabee, it has to be his go-between. Just ignore Charlie. Just because he's walking again with a boot doesn't mean he can play football. And be high-minded, C.B. Coleman said. JR, you going to the Public Affairs Society lunch? Brent said. Got a call from Uncle Carl while he was selling some gold. So I think I'll be going. 8 a.m. Eastern. Jim is in his home office receiving copies of fact sheets that are to be distributed today. 11:30 a.m. Jim goes to 1.5 hour dip in the pool and then lunch with Bessie before leaving at 12:30 to go to the general meeting of the Small Business Administration at the U.S. Small Business Administration in Washington, D.C. 11 a.m. Central. A mass media theory class. Dean Satie lectures about cause and effect with media addiction. 11:50 a.m. Eastern. At Ascension Hills Christian College, Amy Kathleen's English instructor, literature class professor, Louise Chiles, stops her to say, the next semester, she'll be transferring to El Paso because of a request from Garrison Pace, whom Jaron had lunch with Jennifer Bowers in exchange for him helping Amy Kathleen. He would do public affairs work for him next summer. But that because of how bright Amy Kathleen was, she was being offered as a junior teaching assistant at the college, which would mean an occasional field trip. 12 p.m. Central. The Public Affairs Society luncheon went well with Ed Shackelford, Public Affairs Specialist for the Foundation for a Better Life, speaking. After the speech was over, I went to the table to speak to Joe and Uncle Carl. "Back table, please," I said. So, Uncle Carl, have you got the Public Service Award for managing your Biker Sharp Lark Meadow Camp? What do you need to know is that I applaud you. So you know I'm lobbying and getting involved in political campaigns. At least you're not loud like your father. You have the more genuine swagger. Do you, Jaron? You're really something. I want to attend an event concerning you anytime. 1 p.m. Eastern. The general meeting was a light disappointment to Jim. 2:35 p.m. Jim is playing golf with Mike Pierce, a member of his dream team. 2 p.m. Central. Dr. Demetrius Nelson came in with an LVN and wrote some things on his pad. "I'm sorry, Mr. Hendrick, but the fact of the matter is, the blood test results still turned out to be anemic. Beta thalassemia," Uncle Carl protested. Now, his grandpa passed that down to his father and me. I'm sorry, but I don't feel so qualified. I want you to check into the Mayo Clinic in Phoenix on the afternoons of January 9th. They will catch it and test to make sure it's the difference between anemia and the Mediterranean anemia. 4 p.m. Eastern. Jim meets with his dream team about a speech he was to give Saturday morning, defending the construct of America. Dave Rosenberg could see that Jim was angry at Bill Clinton and told him to capitalize on it. Clyde Martin and Mike Pierce agreed with Dave Rosenberg. The best way to have a speech would be at the Traditional Value Coalition event at the Jefferson Hotel in Washington, D.C. Jim wondered if he's going to be able to get an audience. Clyde Martin suggested that the Conservative Value Coalition was having a convention that weekend, and that Jim should speak there. 3 p.m. Central. Using a speech reader. Using a speech reader. Jaron has a computer read to him the transcript of the Clinton Chronicles. 4 p.m. David Smith arrives at the University Center. Dave, it's good to hang out, Jaron said, getting into the car. There was a short pause. You know what? I'm thinking about asking Jennifer Bowers to marry me. Just be careful, man. Women can be fickle. I popped the question to my girl 4 days ago, and now she's playing hard to get. Jennifer wants me, that's something. You two in the public affairs scenes, it's a happening thing. Dave took us to Olive Garden for dinner. 6 p.m. Eastern. In the front lounge of the mansion, Jim is watching the national news. He's restless when he gets a call from Philip Later.